Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang One, back to do another Transformers review. Today's review has been requested by Marcus Prime because he does love it when I review a shitbot. And actually, come to think of it, most of the times I review a shitbot these days is mostly because of his request. So we're delving into that little rabbit hole once again, ladies and gentlemen, with a look at the G1 Decepticon Duracon Battletrap.
Okay, so here's Battletrap in his dual alt mode. Can I just get this out of the way now? I don't know why Marcus Prime insists on me reviewing all the worst things in my collection. He fucking loves it. Anyway, thanks for this, Mark. Anyway, so this is Battletrap in his dual alt mode. So one of them is to start off with this one is maybe like an armored Jeep thing. I don't know. It's a bit nondescript. Stickers on this actually aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. So I'm just glad I didn't bother paying for the repro labels to re-sticker this, because it's not really worth it. Really, no details at all on the wheels. That's all molded in black plastic. They do roll, which is nice. And obviously the windscreen is just this garish pink sticker set. No detail at the back there. The spring mechanism here looks a bit dodgy. But it still works. And basically, the idea was with the Duracons, basically you connect them together like that, and basically after a while they just like spring up and transform. This one doesn't spring up. I have to try and manipulate it a little bit. Let's see what's it saying on the bottom there. Hasbro Takara 1987. Okay, so it's a 1987 bot. So in terms of, this doesn't have a robot mode on its own. This has to form part of a robot mode. So if you had this on its own, like maybe you lost a part or whatever like that, then this was pretty much effectively completely useless to use as a child. So moving on from this, equally so to this section here. I mean, if you had only the top section, it would have been completely useless to use as a child as well, unless you could think up a game where basically he lost his entire bottom half and had to, make do as just a head and shoulders. So this top half of him is I think it's it's supposed to be like an Apache helicopter type thing. Again, no real detail. My one's really yellowing and fading, and there's got a little bit of scratch damage on the back, which I've tried cleaning up, haven't been successful. Stickers have almost completely gone on it, as you can see. And there's evidence of a little bit of glue of another sticker just there. It's yellowing. I've tried cleaning it up a little bit in terms of the dust and everything like that, but it's I can't really get the discoloration out of the plastic unless I want to do something really extreme, which, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do because I can't be bothered. His rub sign there is still prevalent, still works, and so does the rub sign on the forward section of him. In terms of accessories, this fella would have come with this, which is supposed to be like a dual blaster thing. Now, this isn't original. This is a reproduction part that I bought of eBay. As you can tell, it doesn't look entirely perfect. Some scratching and damage to it there, but you know what? I can live with that. And basically, this part here would have slotted into the bottom of the helicopter just here. So let's connect that like that. And there would have been Battletrap's top half attack mode, which actually, as the attack modes go, it's not the worst one I've ever seen. It looks okay. It's just the part at the bottom does look a little bit too big for the helicopter here, but the guns look fine. You have to take that off though if you want to transform the figure. I say transform the figure, as much as the transformation is, you have to take that part off in order for it to work. The rotor blades spin round, which is nice. And this would have been a low price point Decepticon, like a sort of on a shelf thing would have cost you maybe like £3. Although I don't think these ones were carded. I think these ones actually came in boxes. If that's the case, then I think you would have been maybe just a little bit disappointed when it came to actually taking it out of the box and trying it for yourself. There's a little bit of damage. Just on the rotor blade there. I don't know what's happened there. A child has chewed it out of frustration for being such a shit toy. I don't know. But there we are. I wish I'd stop fucking knocking the camera. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So let's get on to the transformation, because there is nothing really to be said about the the two parts of the one figure as they stand and in all mode. Okay, so let's take that off, and these sections just here are on Flywheels. You're supposed to flip those out for the hand so you can like sort of do the transformation part. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. However, on this one, the release of these two sections depends entirely on you actually plugging this in, because once you've plugged in this part just here to this corresponding hole just here, these two parts here push down on these two sections here, which pull out the arms. Okay, and what's supposed to happen after you hit a certain point, it's all supposed to just like spring up basically, but for some reason this one doesn't spring up, so it's now going to completely make me out to be some sort of liar as I tried doing this on camera. So let's put line everything up like that, and you'll see when you put that one in, see that those two bottom sections are already pushing these two sections out. Okay, so let's do that. You stick that in there, make sure that is about as good as it's going to go, and then once it's like that, you push down on it and it's supposed to spring up, but for some reason nothing happens with this one. So the spring-loaded mechanism on this has died a sad death. Okay, but this does allow me to actually show you how the transformation would technically work in stages. So you'd spring it down, and then this would come up like that. Okay, so that's come right up on its own. Okay, so like that, and then while it's doing that, this cockpit section is supposed to unclip, and it's all supposed to come up like that. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't. So what I've got to do is just maybe pull the camera back out a little bit. There we are. Let's get that in focus if I can. Whatever. Okay, so if I... Yeah. There we are. That's his basic transformation, okay? And this is the stellar robot mode that you are left with at the end of such a pointless venture, okay? So, if I could get that in focus, that would be lovely. There we are. Not quite as close up as I wanted it, but you know what? This is a Wolfgang 1 review, ladies and gentlemen. This is never going to go smoothly. So that's Battletrap's robot mode. Now, at least with Flywheels, you can actually see where his arms were because they fold out to the sides. This one here doesn't even have the luxury of that mechanism, okay? And you can only tell he's got arms at all if you turn him to the side, and there's a little bit of molding just there for his hands. Okay. Apart from that, if you look at it dead on, there's not a lot going on there at all. Not a bad head sculpt, actually. The eyes are a little bit Elton John sunglasses, really. But apart from that, the head sculpt's not too bad. The rest of it, on the other hand, is bad. I wish I could be a little bit more. I wish I could be a little kinder to it, actually, than indeed I am. He's got a massive rope blade sticking off his back. There's not a lot you can do about that. No legs to speak of, really. It would be nice if you could at least somehow separate this forward section here to show that he's actually got legs. No, this has none of that. This has no thought put into it whatsoever. This was basically, what can we sell for £3? Yeah, all right, that'll do. No one's going to complain about that. No one's going to be looking at this 40 years from now going, what on earth were we thinking? No, nothing like that at all, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally above board from start to finish. Look at that. And basically, if you want to give him his little weapon thing, then maybe just stick that in the hole in his arm, in his shoulder just there. And he's got his little weapon. The problem with this is it does obscure the arm even more so than the arm already was. Okay? So this looks now like this looks like he's even got less arms than what he started with. Yeah, this is not brilliant. This is not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination. However, Marcus Prime has a hard-on for for the unimaginably worst of the worst that G1 has to offer. Can you review this shitbot? Can you review that shitbot? Core, I'd really like it if you took a look at this fundamental piece of shit. Once again, I have delivered for you, Marcus. I do hope you enjoyed this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about as much as Battletrap has to offer. And he is a piece of wank, really. In fact, he's so bad at being a piece of wank, he doesn't even deserve the tissue that comes at the end of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this review of G1 Decepticon Girocon Battletrap, such as it is. I've only got this, right? The only reason I have this is so I can say I have one more G1 in my collection that I can just scrub off the list, right? If it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't have gone anywhere near this, quite frankly. But Mark wanted to see it, so who am I to deny Mark the satisfaction of this review? So, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. That's Battletrap. This is me, Wolfgang1, saying I'm going to go and review something else now and put it up next week. Do hope you enjoyed this. I'm not sure how you would have enjoyed this, quite frankly. I mean, look at the fucking state of it. But I do hope you enjoyed this review. This is me saying I'll be back soon. Until then, take care.